Hello and welcome to Toomers TV and a very special live programme brought to you by Swindonweb TV and John Toomers Garden Centre here in West Swindon. Well, this is a first for us and for Toomers, so we really hope that you enjoy the show. Now, John Toomers have actually been supplying and advising customers since 1850, and you can find out more about the company's history on the website below. So, what have we got on the programme today? We've got a special feature where we're going to show you some stunning autumn-winter hanging baskets. We also learn more about pollination with Toomers' very own James Greenslade. Nigel Davis is put under the microscope with our gardening Q&A. And food stylist Leslie Holdship shows us how to cook a delicious chicken and ale dish using Toomers herbs. And we end the show with some top tips on weeds and how to get rid of them. Now, we're going to be on air for about 30 minutes today and we would love to hear from you, so please do get in touch. You can do it through Twitter and the hashtag is Toomers TV, or alternatively you can email us, and you can email us at video@swindonweb.tv, and please do let us know your questions if you've got any. We would love to answer them. Now, we think of hanging baskets and you think about the summer, all that lovely colour, but in fact my neighbours have just put up some hanging baskets for the winter. So Nigel is going to show me how to do it, and apparently I'm actually going to be doing it myself, yes. Nigel, so let's get cracking.
Right, well, we want a bit of winter colour, so we're looking at things like winter pansies,
right?
Specially bred, so they flower even in the coldest of weather.
Am I putting this on the outside?
Yeah, on the outside, just make a nice little thing there, so it's going to be leaning towards the outside.
So this compost, it seems very light and fluffy. Is that a special compost?
It is a nice hanging basket compost. We'll retain some of the moisture, and it's got all the nutrients those plants are going to need through the winter.
Right,
so that's it. So I think we'll be planting in three. So we'll try and get odd ones out. That's it.
Okay.
Turn your basket round, get another one there.
Right,
just dig it out. That's it. Okay. Something else we're going to be doing.
Is this good for fingernails as well?
Oh, you have green fingers before you know it.
Yeah, I've got brown ones now. Right.
So you're going to have some cyclamen now.
Right.
This will give you a nice bit of winter colour as well. So put one in the corners there. So we tend to plant in odd numbers, threes.
I was going to say, this isn't looking very symmetrical at the moment.
Those all look very nice, yes.
Right, okay.
So we've got nice colours here. Another one there. Yep. So you make another hole there. That should be fine.
Okay,
there we go. That's it.
Right, okay.
So this is going to be a really full basket by the time we finish.
It is, isn't it? So what about letting them grow even bigger? Or they'll just get crowded and it'll look good?
They're mature, don't you worry. They'll be absolutely fine. Right, we've got one more. I think we can just get him in between there. It'll be absolutely fine. If you can put that one right down there on an angle.
Professional.
So that's it. Press that one in. Right, now what we need is some bulbs. Reasonably do some bulbs, some iris. They flower at the end of February, coldest of weather. So if anything's gone over in the basket, these will come on and give you some new flower.
So that's sort of like snowdrop time and things like that.
That's it, when it's really, really cold.
Colour.
Beautiful yellow.
Yellow. And you've got some blue down there as well.
So I'll give you a couple of these. I want you to just...
I've got to do them the right way.
Yep, that's it.
So you just how
poke
far
them
down?
in. That's it.
Push. How low?
About 1.5 inches down. That's it.
Which is what, about 5 centimetres?
About 5 centimetres, yes, that's right. Okay. So we'll put a few in there, you put a few around there.
Okay, and they'll just work their way through.
They will come through, no bother. So I think we have a couple more in there.
This is going to be a very random flower basket, this one. Okay, very good.
Okay, so we've got those in. Right, we need a bit of a centrepiece, so we're going to use a scented conifer. If you just rub your hands on the foliage, what does it smell of?
Lemon.
Lemon, that's it. Yep. So
is that the right answer?
Yes. Right. We'll make you a hole in there. You want to put that one right down in there.
Now, what about watering these? Because obviously in the summer we do a lot of watering of our baskets.
As soon as we finish this, we will water this. But in the winter, they don't need as much water. So this is the thing. Just keep an eye on it. You can do it by a little tip I always use at home. I always pick the basket up, put your hand underneath and lift it up. If it's heavy, you know it's pretty well watered. If it's light and it tips to one side, you know you need to water it.
Lovely.
No, but about once to twice a week at the very maximum in the winter. Now, what we need here, we've still got some gaps there. We could put in a herb.
Oh, like that.
So you try that. See what that's like.
Time?
Time, yeah.
Hey.
So we've got some winter time.
I'm glad we rehearsed this, now I know.
So you've got another gap there, yeah.
Put them in there.
That's it, put that in there.
Okay.
There you go.
And these are all fairly hardy.
Oh, yes, that'll survive. Oh, this will.
Yeah?
Oh, undoubtedly.
Now, how lovely to come out and get some colour in the winter. You're not really used to that.
And a bit of scent as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, best of both worlds. Right, I think we can get one more. If you can just put one in there, I think we have just about do it. No, but at the end of the day,
we're nearly running out of time,
your basket will all be
squeeze them in there.
Filled up perfectly.
Look at that.
That's it. And we'll give that a good water. And I'll tell you what, you've got a nice winter's basket.
Excellent. I love that. Lovely and easy. Well, thank you very much indeed, Nigel. Now, we're going to come back to you very shortly because we've got a Q&A, and also we're going to talk about the dreaded weeds. Now, in the meantime, not so long ago, you might be aware that the Royal Horticultural Society introduced a new icon or logo, and it was to go on plants that are particularly bee-friendly. Well, I came down here to John Toomers in West Swindon, and I spoke to the resident expert, James Greenslade, the other expert, I should say, and he told us all about it. Now, I know that we all need bees and insects in our gardens to pollinate, but some plants attract them better than others.
They certainly do. The most famous one is the buddleia. Beautiful at the moment, attracting loads of butterflies. And I counted over 10 varieties of different butterflies. There's one coming on now, look at that, last year. This particular variety is called Buzz, which is great for small gardens and pots because it's much more compact. So that's very useful.
Now, that, of course, is just one. What are some of the others you've got?
Well, there's the Rebeckia, the yellow daisy, which is intriguing because we've got tall plant for the back of the border, like this. And then we do much more compact varieties. If people haven't got a big border, this is a lovely one for the front. But this flowers for ages, keeps coming and coming and coming right through into the autumn.
Now, you mentioned about the autumn there and having an extended range of flowering. I think this one you mentioned might be good for that too.
Yeah, the Japanese anemone. It'll keep producing more and more flower buds, particularly if you take off the old flowers when they flowered. This is a beautiful one, and again a lovely perfect for pollinator plant.
So James, it's great to have all of these plants, but I understand there's now a new system to actually help people identify plants for pollinators.
Yeah, the Royal Horticultural Society have got a list on their website, and they call it Perfect for Pollinators. And some of the plants are now coming through with labels with their logo on. Here's one.
So, of course, we all love herbs in the garden. Are they good pollinators?
Some of them are the very best pollinators. I mean, we've got oregano and thyme here. I mean, we've got lots and lots of bees come to the oregano. We've got two different colours. There's a pink and a white, and there's the thyme as well. So we've come in obviously different types. And this is a beautiful purple one. And then, of course, we mustn't forget the fruit trees. To get a good crop next year, for the bees to pollinate the flowers in the spring, it's great to do a summer prune, particularly if you want to keep plants more compact. So I should just be brave, go in there and make some cuts. So on a side shoot, for example, from the basal cluster, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and snip. So you can go further on the side shoots, but we do sell books on pruning and plants, which give you lots of information. And if you buy a fruit tree, we'll give you a handbook. So you can do a bit of armchair reading to get you genned up on all that.
And of course, as always, you, Nigel, and the whole team here at Toomers will always be able to help and give some guidance.
We do, yeah, we do. I just enjoy it very much.
Perfect. Well, James, thank you very much as always. Hello and welcome back, and look at that, the sun's come out, it always shines on the righteous. Now Nigel, this is the bit where you're going to be put under the spotlight because it's Q&A time. We've already had some questions come in already, believe it or not. First one comes from Paul in Swindon, who, by the way, wants us to send her this basket that I made. I would like you to know that actually I made. She actually said that Nigel made. Nigel, I made that. Anyway, she's got a question. She says she's enjoying the show, which is good. She said she's looking for some colour in the garden this winter. So apart from the hanging basket, which we're going to send to her at a price, what other colour can we put in for the winter?
There's a lot of winter shrubs like skimmias. They're actually producing small red flowers at the moment. They're lovely. You can put those in tubs. We've actually got a leucothea actually sat down here, a red flowering shrub. It's changing colour now. That's lovely against some gold that you might have outside. On top of that, don't forget you've got winter heathers. There's quite a few of those just starting to change now. They run right the way through to February, March. And on top of that, we've done cyclamen and winter pansies and violas this morning. You can always put some of those around.
And one of the things we were talking about before we came on air was about the soil type. So obviously maybe come down to see yourself or James or someone and double check the soil type meets
because some
what
heathers
you
will
want.
grow around here and some won't.
Yeah. Okay, very good so far. We've got Lynn in Highworth. She's asking, are all penstemons hardy? I found that the light-coloured varieties never survive the winter. Well, first of all, tell us what penstemons are, because people like me don't know.
Penstemons are a lovely summer flowering shrubby perennial. They usually last about 2 or 3 years, and then they probably will go over. The hardier ones are the alpine versions.
Yeah.
There's about 250 different species within the genus, and I've got some at home, and the way I look after mine is I cut them down to about 20 centimetres in the autumn and actually cover them with a cloche, which is just some polythene to keep them going. But unfortunately, we've had a couple of hard winters recently, and a few people lost them.
Okay, good, very good. Next one says, I've got dark patches on the surface of my apples which we're now picking. What caused this?
This is more likely to be apple scab. Now, this is airborne. It's a fungus that attacks the apples just after they've flowered. The young apple will have a bit of fungus on it. We won't see it, but it'll be there, and it grows during the season. Spray with a fungicide about 2 weeks after they've flowered, the apples, and just check them through the season, and I think then you won't have any scab next year.
Okay, so that's one of those things to bear in mind for next year.
That's
okay,
right.
Good. I think we've got time for one more question.
Okay.
I've been told. My leaves on my fruit trees are brown around the edges. Have we got a quick answer for that?
Yes, I think that was probably a deficiency of potassium. So a feed of something like sulphate of potash, put it around the base of the tree, sort of April, May, and early June, and the rain will water it in, and it means that the plant will take that up in the summer and it won't have the deficiency, therefore you won't have the brown edges.
Perfect. And again, if you come down and chat to you guys, you'll be able to advise the right brand and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nigel, thank you very much.
Okay.
I knew you'd be able to answer all those questions. Easy. Fantastic. So, of course, we all love eating, don't we? And you can't think of a much better dish than you say use a local ale, such as Arkell's ales, and then maybe put some lovely local herbs in, maybe from here, from the garden centre as well. Well, recently I got together with Leslie Holdship, who is she's a food stylist. I've got to get the title right. And, well, we got cooking. Well, we're here at Toomers Garden Centre for what I hope will be a regular spot, because it's a great pleasure to welcome back Leslie Holdship.
Hello, nice to see you again.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
We're surrounded by fabulous ingredients, stunning herbs, and this wonderful backdrop.
It's beautiful,
Perfect.
really beautiful.
Who needs this morning?
Absolutely.
And I'm even going to chop some vegetables for you.
You are. We're going to make a really lovely chicken dish with spring vegetables, some chicken, and this beautiful Arkell's ale, which I'm very much looking forward to trying, actually.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame it's going in there rather than with a couple of little glasses on the side.
we'll be able to try some later on.
Right, so what's the first thing we've got to do?
Right, first thing we need to do is we need to chop our onion. So are you going to do that for me?
I will chop the onion.
Fantastic, and let's move that one out of the way.
Do you want the whole onion?
Yes, I think we're going to put 2 different onions in this. We're going to have this just white, regular white onion.
Watch me chop my fingers now.
Yeah, this isn't right in the first place. Come on.
Oh, yeah, carry on, carry on.
And then we're going to put some spring onions in towards the end, which are going to give a lovely sweetness in there as well.
Okay, fabulous.
We're just going to get those onions just softening off a little bit and just look shoddy chopping.
Oh, that's all terrible.
Terrible.
Can't get the staff.
So a little bit of garlic now, I think we'll have.
Okay.
What should we have? Because maybe 1 garlic, I think 1 clove of garlic would be nice.
It's good for you, garlic. Good for
Okay,
your
let's
heart.
go
Let's
for
have
2
2.
then.
Let's go for 2. Okay.
Lovely.
Now we are eating this afterwards, aren't we?
We are, definitely. We'll get the recipe up on the website as well, so everyone knows how to cook it.
Now, talking of websites, of course,
yes,
if you would like to see more of Leslie's work, we've actually scrolling her website down there, because you do regular blogs and things like that as well, don't
regular
you?
blogs. I've just put a few recipes for some baking, because baking's very fashionable at the moment, so I've just put a few baking recipes
It is, isn't it?
It is very. So we've got to the stage where I think we'll add some chicken.
Okay.
We're just going to just lay some of that in, and we do want to give a little bit of colour onto that, so I'm just going to move the onions aside. And I've just taken the breast and I've just sliced them into half lengthways. So you can see.
Is that what you call a goujon?
Yes, I suppose it is, yes, goujon. Because goujon can be fish or chicken.
How many would this actually normally serve?
I think this would serve 2 to 3. Can you smell that?
Very,
I think we'll just
nice.
let that sit there for a moment and just have a quick look at the beer.
There we go.
And that, hopefully, you can have a little smell of that, shall we? And just see.
Oh, that smells lovely.
Oh, that is beautiful, because I don't think that's too hoppy, because sometimes beer, I think, can be a little bit too hoppy and a bit too bitter. Just turn that down a little bit.
There we go.
Oh, actually, that might be enough, I think.
Yeah.
So, we're just getting ready some lovely spring vegetables.
Okay.
So, I think, do you want to
Yep. Put all that in.
scatter those into there?
That's my scattering.
Oh, lovely. That's
Look
a
at
nice
that.
scattering. I like that.
I could win an award for my
You
scattering.
could. Right, okay, so I think last thing we'll just add a little bit of this black treacle.
Now, that's something I wouldn't have thought of.
I just think that it's got a bit of bitterness to it, but it's also have a lovely sweetness. So we'll add a little spoonful of that, and it will bring down the colour and sort of darken that up. Let's see if we can
Will it bind the sauce together at all?
It
or
will
is it
thicken it a little bit,
right.
yes. There we are. And then once I've done that, I think we'll pop off out and go and find a few herbs to go in there.
Well, we're in a garden centre. Where better place?
Fantastic.
They've got a fabulous selection out there. So shall we head off and see what we can find?
Let's do that.
Wonderful.
There we are. Right.
We've got a great selection of herbs here. What do you reckon?
I think that I'm going to choose a bit of thyme, and I'm going to choose the one with the flowers, because I quite like to use a little bit of the flowers, and some of this beautiful curly parsley.
Right, shall I grab one of them?
Brilliant. Right.
Okay.
Let's get back to the cooking.
Back to the cooker.
I'm just going to add a few sprigs of that into this.
Right.
And then we can get ready to sort out the rest of the vegetables.
I'll start chopping them up.
You look like you're really concentrating there, Alistair.
I'm trying not to chop my fingers off, the
yes,
truth be known.
good idea. OK,
right.
We've got our cabbage and our spring onions ready to go then. So I think we'll get
put that all
those in. Yes, pop those into there. OK, I think we'll just leave that for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll be ready to dish up.
See you in 5.
Yes.
I'm getting hungry.
Are you? It does smell pretty good, doesn't it?
And it's good and healthy as well, all those lovely ingredients. And
yes, I mean, there's no particular fat in there. Goose fat's pretty good for you anyway. It's low in saturated fat. And then we've just got the beer in there that's creating all that beautiful flavour. So
and look at that sauce and the smell. Oh, lovely.
A little bit of that liquid on there.
Lovely.
Beautiful, really good. And you don't need much with that, maybe a little blob of mashed potato.
And actually the perfect beverage to go with.
Yes.
Would you like to...
that would be fantastic. Thank you very much.
A little bit as well. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Lovely to see you again.
Yes,
and
thank you
let's
very much.
tuck in. And by the way, both the dish and the beer tasted really good. You see, that's the way to cook. Anyway, not only are we cooking, we've also, of course, back here in the garden, we've changed our set. Our production department did an amazing job redressing this. Actually, it was Nigel and I. But anyway, we're now talking about the dreaded weeds, Nigel. Even at this time of year, there's still a lot of weeds around.
Yes.
We're basically going to look at 2 things. We're going to look at preventing weeds and also then getting rid of them. Let's start with preventing.
Yeah.
What's the best ways of doing that?
A good way of doing it, you've got a piece of ground, the weeds keep coming through. You can actually put something down that's a very lightweight black fabric called weed block.
I thought this was a tablecloth.
It might look like it, dark one at that. And this lets the moisture through.
Right.
So if some people use polythene, but the thing is it's going to sit there, the moisture. So you want the moisture to travel through, and on top of that, you can then put something down like spruce bark chippings, which act as a decorative finish, but actually as a mulch. And you might say, well, what's a mulch? Well, a mulch is basically a form of chippings that goes on top to conserve the moisture. So when it's rained, the rain filters through, and it's actually kept in the soil for your plants, because you might want to cut out little areas for your plants to grow, so they need the moisture. You don't want to block the moisture from them.
Is there a particular time of year we should be doing this kind of activity, or can it be done any time of year?
It can be done at most times, but I would say the best 2 times to do it is autumn and early spring, because then you're going to get the benefits.
Okay, perfect. So that's obviously a way to keep the weeds out.
That's it.
But let's say you're a bit like me, you haven't been terribly organised, the weeds have started to come up through, and we want to get rid of them.
Right.
And rather than picking out each individual one...
So labour intensive. Well, it's different wherever you've got your weeds. Well, let's go for paths.
Right.
I know at the end of my drive, I've always got a patch of weeds. Bit of path clear this year. Couple of weeks' time, they're all burnt off, and it actually produces a cap on the soil, so the seeds of weeds that then blowing can't germinate.
Ah, okay. So that's why it's...
So that's long-lasting.
So that's called path clear.
Yes.
Give them a plug. Okay, what else have we got?
Well, something I've been using at home recently is, if we can go onto the actual lawn, you know how many weeds grow on your lawn?
Yes.
Mine at home, I've plagued with daisies, clover, dandelions. Now, I've done a spray recently because I want to get these weeds gone for the winter. And then I can put some grass seed down. I could do it if they go quickly enough. Or
you can put grass seed down at this time of year,
It's September, October, before
Right.
November comes, good time for doing grass seed. So you can patch in with a little bit of turf dressing, put some grass seed down, but obviously you've got to spray or watering can, get rid of those weeds first.
So this is specifically
for lawns.
Well, you can see, kills weeds, not lawns.
That's right.
Perfect. Okay.
So good time of year. You've got this lovely bit of weather. We're having a great September, and it means you can actually get these jobs done.
Now, quick thing with grass seed, because there's that whole thing, when you've got freshly sown seeds, you shouldn't mow the lawn for a while or something.
That's right. You'll be doing your last cuts, say, if the weather keeps going sort of mid-October. you're putting your grass seed down, so obviously you're not going to be cutting again to the spring. The grass will have actually started to grow and it'll be there ready for cutting in the spring.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then also talking about the lawn, just very quickly digressing from this, you should also be putting sand and stuff in there. We did a piece earlier on in the year, didn't we, about that?
Yeah, exactly. You should be putting a little bit of sand, sharp sand with a little bit of grit to add the drainage and get some, what it does, it gets some air around the roots of the grass.
And that's this time of year again.
You can do it at this time of year, and so come the spring, your actual grass, it is lots of oxygen in the soil, your grass will grow very well.
Perfect. Now, we've got a couple other sprays here. What are these ones for?
Right, okay, we're going away from the lawns now. We've got some couch grass or something like that growing around. Roundup, good thing about Roundup, it goes right down into the roots. Some weed killers only kill the top. This will translocate and go right down into the root. Job done.
But obviously this is one you want to keep away from your regular flowers and lawns and
stuff
like that.
You can't be spraying lawns or any other plants with it. It's purely contact with the weeds. Now, you said that.
Perfect.
You can't actually get in there. What if you can't get to your plants?
Yeah.
Well, you want to get those weeds around the plants. This year, a new gel has come out. It's the same material in a gel form. You can just wipe it over the leaves, so you're not getting it on the plants.
So it looks a bit like an underarm deodorant, really, isn't it? Don't use it. Don't use it for there. Okay. And what about these two?
Well, basically, that one's a ready mixed one for the lawn, and this one is a weed killer you can use around the borders. Doesn't harm the soil. And actually does a good job getting rid of those weeds. Now, you can go to one other method.
Yeah.
It's your old hoe.
Yeah.
You've got to get down there, knock off the tops of the weeds.
It'll do it. Jobs are good. Excellent. Now, we've fortunately got enough time to have another couple of questions for you.
Okay.
So, we first of all got someone who said, I've noticed that there are small holes in my brassicas. Sounds uncomfortable. When young, later on as they grow, what should I be doing about them? How do you deal with that?
I basically think what those holes are, it's probably being nibbled by a little beetle called flea beetle. There's hundreds of them on the soil. They're all having that little munch. What you can do is just do a general insecticide, but there are some safe ones around made from derivatives of chrysanthemums, crushed leaves, and it's made into a powder. So it's quite safe on brassicas.
So that's a more organic
Yes, more organic. Yeah. You can use it, and you can use it within a couple of days of picking. But you want to be doing it a couple of times because there's plenty of flea beetles out there doing the munching of your brassicas.
Excellent, very good.
All right.
My tomatoes have a bronze mottling on the top of the leaf.
I think you get some bronze mottling. It's usually down to where they're growing, and it's probably in a greenhouse, and it's probably down to something called red spider mite. They're very small. You can hardly see them. But if you just rub your hands over your leaves or your tomatoes, you feel a bit of a gritty sort of sensation. That's probably some of those and some of their webs. It happens when it's very, very dry conditions. So a bit of cultural conditions, water quite a lot, keep the soil wet, keep the greenhouse moist. They don't like it being moist. Right. And if you have got the problem, you're going to have to use a general insecticide to get rid of them.
Now, actually talking about tomatoes, it's that time of year where we've still got some tomatoes, they're still growing, but they're green, and a few of us are worried, are these actually going to ripen in time? What can we do?
What a lot of people do is break the bottom leaves off to get the sun to them, but as we're losing the sun at the back end of the year, you could be taking those off and putting them on the windowsill. And if you put them next to some apples, the ethylene that comes off the apples will actually help the tomatoes ripen. So put a few apples on the windowsill with your tomatoes.
Now, there is that thing I've heard about, the snapping off the other leaves.
Yes.
So basically you just expose the plant.
That's right.
But don't you need the leaves for, to help the plant
grow
as well?
But the thing is, it's slowing down in its growth now. If you leave just a third on the top, that would be enough. So don't worry about snapping those off at the bottom.
Perfect. I'll do that because I've got loads of green ones. Okay, willow trees next.
Yes.
Willow tree has red blisters on the surface. I've never heard of that.
That's down to a mite called a blister mite, and basically it's taking the sap out of the leaves, and because it does it injects some virus in there, and then you get this little red blister on the top. Really, is not really much to do except pick the leaves off and burn them in the autumn.
Okay.
All right.
Deal with that.
Okay.
Now, we've got a little bit of time left, and I think it's a perfect time for you to actually plug the garden centre itself.
Right. Okay.
For people who maybe have never been here before, give us maybe a very quick overview in about a minute, basically what's actually here.
Well, basically we're a pet, garden and equestrian centre. We've been heavily into pets for many, many years, so we supply the pet food, all the things your dogs and cats will need, and we also do fish in the season as well. So you can come and get your goldfish and things like that in the summer months. We do an extensive range of plants. We pride ourselves on our plants. On top of that, we do have an equestrian centre that's come here now. So if somebody's got a horse, okay, we sell the feed for it. And we even do animal feed, things like pig food, cattle food, chicken food. Chickens are very much a big
and just in case you're wondering, that is the phone, because this is live. That's what happens.
That's our bell system.
I'm glad somebody answered it. That's all I can say.
So at the end of the day, yeah, we're trying to get everybody to use their garden. If it's not for pets, it's for growing.
Now, the big thing, of course, about Toomers, it's a family-run business.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, the family's still running it.
Oh, yes.
So introduce us very quickly to some of the key members of the team.
Well,
now, here's putting you on the spot, because if you miss out someone, you're going to be in real trouble.
Okay, well, we have two directors of the company, one running the equestrian side, the horse side, and the cattle side, and one running the retail side. And on top of that, we've got me as the manager, and we have a lady that runs our pet department, Penny, and we have some staff that work with us to generally help the garden centre grow and move well.
And what I particularly love about all garden centres, in fairness, but particularly here, is the fact that you've got people who are passionate about what they do. So if you come, you know, some shops you go to, people don't give you the time to really talk, whatever. And I find when you come to places like here, people really want to talk, and they love getting to find out about your soil types and what plants you're into, and really giving you lots of details. You get that real first-hand experience.
I must admit, we get a lot of customers that come back time and time again. They've been coming for many years, and we've got used to them, and we know them, and it's nice to see them, and we love to talk to them.
Well, we're about to go off air, so thank you very much indeed for watching. And by the way, I want to give a quick plug for Nikki and all of her team in the cafe there.
Yes.
If you want a lovely cup of coffee with, by the way, the best homemade cakes, delicious, and lovely meals as well, really, really good. So I'll get a free one now, hopefully. Anyway, do pop in. It's actually a lovely day out. You can come here, get some great gardening advice, and at the same time, stop off, have a snack, something to eat as well. Now, if you want to find out more, we've actually made quite a few videos with Nigel, with James, and a lot of the team here at Toomers, and you'll find them on Toomers TV on the website. Do have a little look, and also you'll find literally all the information you want about the company, who they are, what they do at toomers.co.uk/TV, and that's where you'll find all the information. You might even see one or two videos with him as well. In the meantime, thank you very much indeed for watching. Do keep the feedback coming in. We would love to hear from you. In the meantime, for myself, Alistair, from Nigel, from Tom, and the whole team here, thank you for being part of our first live broadcast. It's been a pleasure to have you watching. We'll see you soon. Bye for now. And now, apparently...